episode of Joyful Mate. This is episode number 8, and it comes from some insight I gathered from yesterday. Yesterday, I was feeling depleted and really run down, and it was due to a poor night's sleep the night before. And I was just thinking how much sleep has an impact on how you feel, and you're less likely to experience joy and happiness when you're feeling so tired and run down and depleted from a poor night's sleep. And I tie that back into a recent episode, well, just the episode before, episode number 7. And that gave me insight as to we can only really experience happiness when we're in a calm state. And when you think about sleep, and if you've had a bad night's sleep, you're in an agitated state. You're in a very frustrated, irritable state. And so you get less likely to experience joy and happiness. And you're less likely to see joy and happiness in terms of how you perceive the world, because you're feeling so deflated. You often reflect how you're feeling. You then pick up on, like you then start seeing things to be more unhappy about and things to be more, sad about, So that feeling within you can be externalized and become, I guess, a self-reinforcing prophecy of that I'm unhappy today, I'm tired, I'm miserable, and you see more of that misery, and so then you sort of attract more of that in your day. So I think what I'd like to really provide with you in this episode is that it's really important to have a good night's sleep in order to experience more joy and happiness the next day. And I was just thinking that how I mentioned in, I think it was the first episode or in the very early stages, is that happiness is something that's quite fleeting and comes and goes. And I was thinking, well, it's going to come and go a whole lot less when you're in a tired state and in a stress state. So it's much better to have a good night's sleep, because you're more likely to experience more happiness and joy and more fulfillment. So certainly, I think it's really important to get a good night's sleep in order to experience more joyfulness and happiness. So making sure sleep's a priority, you're getting rest, and then keeping the nervous system calm and less agitated is really important, because as I mentioned in episode 6, was that when we're in an agitated state, we're very much in that fight or flight state. And that fight or flight state is a survival state. It gets us away from the predator and helps us get prey. So it's a state where we've got a lot of adrenaline and those type of hormones and transmitters. Like, so in our brain, we've got epinephrine and norepinephrine, and these are to really help us get, we release histamine, and these are really to help us get away from the predator, or to help us get prey. But we're therefore, what we're producing less of is the ones that are associated with feeling content, feeling happy and joyful. So we're producing less of the serotonin, less of the dopamine, less of the oxytocin. And so we have this imbalance of neurochemistry simply because we're stressed. And as I mentioned at the start, stress can be invoked from a poor night's sleep. So I really want you to take away from this episode that it's vital to get a good night's sleep, to prioritize your sleep so that you can experience more happiness and joy. So that's the insight on this episode. I just wanted to capture that thought based on my experience yesterday, and how important it is to feel rested and that you have a good night's sleep. So that's it for this episode, and I'm going to continue to share insights as I ponder this book journey. And I'd love you to share your feedback as to what you experience, because happiness is individual. It's based on you and who you are, and so there's no right or wrong happiness. It's what brings you happiness and joy, and so it's really important that you share that with me. Because I'd like to get insights from you. So thank you for continuing to follow and support the journey of Joyful Mate. And in the I guess, endeavor to write a book on happiness. So thank you again, and over and out.